A mystical force has possessed a girl's body. Can the psychics exorcise the evil spirit? Don't miss out an astonishing secret of the victim. This is Psychic Investigations, a project of exclusively true and impressive stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate intricate criminal cases and mysterious paranormal phenomena. "15-year-old Maria Shamray is an ordinary Ukrainian girl. She looks just like millions of teenagers around the world. She excels in school, dreams of becoming a physician, loves reading, and helps her mom at their family store. However, the peaceful life of this typical family has turned upside down lately.
Something awful has been happening to her in the past 2 weeks. She's been screaming hysterically. It looks really terrifying.
The terror began on Easter Sunday. Traditionally, the family went to church in the evening to have their Easter breads blessed. Maria went with them. Suddenly, she was seized by an inexplicable fit.
The pain was indescribable. I don't even know how to put it into words.
Maria went back home. Once in the house, she fainted. Fortunately, her uncle was there at the time.
I brought her inside and started giving her water. When you don't understand what's causing it, it's terrifying.
After this incident, Maria fell ill and spent a week in bed.
The pain was hellish.
But it was only the beginning. The worst was yet to come.
Each seizure was accompanied by her not seeing us clearly, only silhouettes. But when it passed, she could see well again.
These unexplained fits were soon accompanied by an unearthly scream. It all looked like some supernatural creature was screaming through the girl.
These fits lasted nearly a month, almost every day.
Maria's relatives live in constant fear, as no one knows when the next seizure will strike. Because of this, Maria stopped going to school, leaving the house, and interacting with her peers.
We've seen all the doctors, from the therapist to the neurologist. We've done all the tests, but they only shrugged. They found nothing.
Then, things took an even stranger turn. One morning, Maria woke up and started behaving very oddly. Her mother thought that she was in a semi-conscious state, as Maria was telling her that she could sense all her ailments.
I was alone with her. She sounded like someone out of their mind, speaking in a different voice, not her usual tone, with her eyes closed, telling me all these things.
Over time, the neighbors started coming to ask Maria for advice. Rumors spread through the town that the girl had developed psychic abilities and was a medium.
She started predicting things and said she wanted to heal people. We don't know how to deal with all this.
However, the family is concerned about Maria's health. The strange seizures are becoming more frequent, and the girl's terrifying screams echo through their home.
It's not for the faint of heart. She screams in a voice that's not her own.
For it's unbearable to watch. You drown in your tears. It's pure torment, a living hell.
We're pleading for help from any psychics who can hear us. We have no one else to turn to.
The mother doesn't understand what's happening to her only daughter. She raises Maria on her own. The girl's father left the family before her birth, so the woman fears losing the only meaning of her life.
I'm ready for anything. She's my everything, my only child.
To figure out what is going on, our project's experts, Olga Kalinova and Larisa Mogila, who is assisted in her work by a female spider named 13, arrive on the scene.
Such a beautiful girl. But for some reason, I see something like a beast inside her. The beast is hairy and has claws, and it's slowly tearing the girl apart from within. She's in mortal danger.
The mother senses it, and when her daughter's condition improves, she takes her to church. But this brings no relief.
She started to feel unwell inside the church. She felt a pressure on her shoulders. Still, she held on there, but when she got home, she started screaming and crying, saying she was being torn apart.
It feels like someone digs claws into my body, down to my bones.
Maria says the only thing that somewhat eases her condition is cats. There are now 12 of them in the family, always by her side. The psychics arrive at Maria's home, where her mother is waiting for them.
Hello. Please, come in. I hope you can help us.
Where is your daughter?
She's inside. Please.
Hello. Maria, may I sit by you? The energy here is very heavy. Some force from the other side is draining all your life energy. Please give me some water. I don't feel well. Some entity, like a vampire, started draining my life force. It was the entity from inside Maria, and it did the same to her.
Are you any better now?
Yes, thank you. I'm better now. That's why I brought holy water with me.
13 is acting strange, look. She senses strong negativity. I feel it too as I get closer to the girl, and when I approach, she hides behind me. A man from her past. The cards show me a man standing next to her. He's not a blood relative. He's someone close to her, bound by love and affection.
Dima.
Before her strange seizures began, Maria had been dating a boy named Dima for 3 months. Could he have anything to do with what's going on?
Please give me a card with your hand. I see people meeting on the road.
On the bus.
They rode the bus together to school.
I take the bus to school, and so does he. That's how we met.
He loved her so much and she loved him. He was so protective of her.
An intense love turns into obsession and stalking. He constantly thinks about you and watches you. That's what's coming from him now.
After we broke up, he's been hanging around our house all the time.
He would dial her all the time.
And when he's around, I feel sick. But when he leaves, I feel better immediately.
Dima was with the Shamrays at the church on the Easter morning when Maria's first seizure occurred, so the mother and daughter suspect that he might be responsible for what's happening to Maria now.
We need to talk to Dima to have a clearer picture.
Dima's home is just 5 kilometers from Maria's.
Is anybody home? Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Our visions brought us to your home. There's a young man here who was connected to that girl.
He's coming.
This is Valentina, Dima's mother. Soon, Dima himself comes out to talk to the psychics.
Hello? Are you the boy who stalked Maria?
I never stalked her.
God, Irina, why are you doing this? It's so embarrassing.
It's not. We're trying to understand what's happening to my child.
What does this have to do with us?
It's clear that the mother and son don't like this conversation. However, the psychics must make sure if Dima is indeed responsible for Maria's condition.
I had a feeling that something wasn't right. There was something else neither me nor Larisa noticed. Dima, why were you constantly following Maria?
I wanted to prove that I truly love her.
He would give her flowers and bring her home. Maria was here all the time. He did everything for her.
Irina, Maria, you believe that Dima is somehow responsible for the seizures, but in reality, he's just deeply in love with the girl. And the fact that he kept showing up near your place, and then the seizures happened, it's a strange coincidence. He didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, he's still worried about you, Maria. I started praying, asking higher powers for a sign. But we didn't expect our prayers to have such power because what happened next was beyond anyone's prediction.
Another seizure. Are you unwell?
You have water?
Yes.
Breathe. Inhale and exhale deeply.
It just hurts like I'm being torn with claws.
Claws tearing her chest apart.
Dark forces control Maria. I recited a prayer, and they started to react. They fear prayers and anything sacred.
Bring water.
More water. Hold her head.
Olga, give me a candle. The candles snapped. Olga, the candles are dying out.
It seemed that Maria was about to be torn apart by that strange beast inside her.
Let's take her to a closed space. Lie down on the seat.
Hearing the girl's screams, people from neighboring houses come out, visibly terrified.
Everyone, step back. This is dangerous. We continued to fight for Maria, trying to free her from the grip of the dark forces that had possessed her. Just a moment. Where's my holy water?
Maria, do you hear me?
I do.
The force inside you will leave now. Be quiet.
We managed to ward off those dark forces, but only temporarily. I'm afraid to say that, but the girls seem to be in cahoots with the dark forces.
The psychic's words send shivers down the spine, but how could this be?
That's all. You're with us. Please give me some water now.
Maria is better, but Dima can't hold back his tears, as he still loves her.
I need a moment. I need to collect myself.
It seems the psychic's nerves are giving way. Without explanation, Larisa Mogila leaves everyone and walks away.
Take away your camera. Do you understand what just happened?
The psychic is extremely nervous. Olga Kalinova goes to her. She asks us to stop filming. An hour passes, but the psychics won't return.
Are you all right?
Yes. I want home.
The girl is sent home with her aunt. Her mother stays behind to hear what the psychics have to say.
Irina, please forgive me. It's a very complex situation.
I'm having a vision, like pieces of a puzzle coming together. It's like a game. It felt like a dark game that forces that tried to possess Maria played with her, and she, unfortunately, lost. And now, those dark forces are trying to take her life.
The psychic's words are simply shocking. What game with dark forces is she talking about? Is Maria somehow to blame for what's happening to her?
Let's take a little walk. I don't feel well. It feels like I took on your daughter's state. The forces are so evil, but why are they inside the girl? Irina, we must come back to your daughter.
Just as everyone gets in the van, Irina's sister calls.
She's screaming wildly. Oh my God.
It turns out Maria is having another seizure.
Stay away from me.
Maria's mother prays. As usual, the family gives Maria a candle. but it seems this only makes her condition worse. The psychics are also deeply frightened and try to approach Maria, but she won't let anyone near her.
Get away. Back off.
Something terrifying is happening. Everyone is at a loss. Will the psychics be able to help the girl?
Maria, do you hear me? I'm going to recite an incantation now. Fight!
I don't know if I can.
It seems the girl calms down. But what kind of force is tormenting her? Where did it come from?
Come on, let's calm your mom.
It's going to be okay. Why are you crying?
Wait, a spirit of an elderly man has come to us. He's your blood relative. An elderly man who has passed away.
My father.
The spirit of Maria's grandfather was very agitated and seemed to be trying to tell us something.
His favorite granddaughter, a feeling of care, and Maria also had a strong attachment to him.
For Maria, her grandfather was like her mother and father. He was her entire family.
We know it.
He loved me very much.
Maria had no father, and her mother was always busy at work, so the girl stayed with her grandfather most of the time, and she was his favorite.
He was very dear to me. He understood me like no one else. I spent most of my time with him.
Maria had everything she pleased. Attention was all she lacked. She doesn't open her soul completely. Could you tell your mother everything? The way you and Grandpa used to communicate?
I've never told anyone else.
The grandfather remains her guardian and protector. He wants to protect her from this force, and for some reason, he's afraid. The devil.
Oh God.
That means this force is here.
Maria, you're under the power of Lucifer himself.
You gazed into the realm of darkness.
This is incredible, but this girl is only 15 years old. How did dark forces find their way into her life?
I see the puzzle pieces again. But now I see you, Maria, sitting and putting them together, one by one. You're playing a game, but you don't even realize that you're playing with death.
But what does this all mean?
Maria, I see a book in your hands. The book influenced you and changed your worldview.
Maria started departing to the unreal world on her own.
Later, Maria confessed that after her grandfather's death, she indeed read a book about a lonely girl who gained extraordinary abilities.
It was in the book. The main character lost someone she loved very much. She had magical abilities and fought against evil.
Maria identified with the book's protagonist. Indeed, her grandfather, who she loved, had passed away. The only difference between Maria and the girl from the book was that Maria had no abilities, so she started pretending to be a psychic. Admit it, Maria, you pretended to be a clairvoyant, didn't you?
Maria finds it hard to speak. Later, she confessed that she indeed pretended to be a psychic, as she wanted to be like the heroine of the book.
The girl enjoyed her so-called game because she received attention, but she went too far. The forces of darkness decided to take control of her. Did she really want to have the abilities? Yes, they could have given them to her, but at the cost of her life.
An entity must have a specific reason to come and connect itself to someone's energy. It can be a life problem, an action, an event, negative thoughts or beliefs. In Maria's case, it was her belief that she could become a psychic.
Such entities are usually attracted to people with weak energetic protection. These can be children or teenagers. Additionally, It can happen when a person's asleep, stressed, shocked, or entranced.
When you had your first seizure, you were genuinely terrified, weren't you? And for a good reason. That's when the dark forces first came to you. That's why you reacted so strongly to everything related to the church. After all, the demon can't tolerate anything associated with the church. Holy water, candles, etc.
A clear sign of an entity's presence in a person is their reluctance to go to church, as well as their inability to stay in there. But this force wants to push you. You often feel a beast's claws tearing at you from within because the entity can't hide under the guise of good for long. It will reveal itself as a beast sooner or later. Then the beast will tear you apart from within. At the very least, you will lose your sanity. And in the end, your life.
I will perform a special ritual to drive this dark force away from you, Maria. But the ritual is dangerous, so I will do it alone, separately. But now, please pray. And never, Maria, never play with the dark forces again.
I am immensely grateful to you. I want all of this to end here and now.
I'll banish all these foolish thoughts from my head. I'll fight. I want everything to be all right from now on. Everything will be fine. I firmly believe that.
It's unbelievable. Fascinated with mystical books, the girl decided to play psychic, but became a victim of dark forces instead. Fortunately, the psychics were able to break the teenager's connection with the afterlife. If you're impressed by the story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Many more astonishing investigations are coming up.